Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and today we are checking out the Justice League Ultimate Batmobile 1/10 scale vehicle. Wow, this thing is massive. So first things first, I have to give a massive thanks to the folks over at Mattel for sending this along so we can get a good look at it. This was first revealed back at Toy Fair all the way back in February. I saw the demo done there. I actually shot a video of the demo and was really interested in it at the time. So now it is hitting stores just in time for the Justice League movie. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at this thing, and I'm gonna show you the ins and outs and how this thing works. So first things first, this thing is massive. You can see just how big this is. And it's meant to fit right alongside with your 6-inch scale action figures. But what's cool about it is it does have a remote control feature so you can actually drive this thing around. You can see it's got an opening cockpit there so we can fit an action figure inside, and in fact, it does include a Batman action figure. So the Batman figure that comes with it is more one of those basic figures, not really like the Movie Master stuff or the more articulated stuff. It's decent. I mean, it does kind of have like the ball-like joints at the shoulders and everything, but it does just have the standard leg movement forwards and backwards. So this Batman is essentially designed specifically to fit inside the cockpit of this car. He's got the softer cape there as well, and you can get him in there in the driver's seat. It still takes a little bit of work. I mean, there's not a lot of space in there. You really got to cram the figure in there, but what's neat is he can actually even hold onto the steering wheel, and as you turn the wheels while it's driving, the steering wheel itself will still turn. Now, the instructions actually say that the Batmobile here holds most 6-inch action figures. So let's go ahead and try a few things out just to see how it does. Like, how about this Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok Thor figure? He pretty much fits inside there, yes. His armor's a little bulky, and I really couldn't get the cockpit door closed with him inside, but maybe some of the smaller Marvel Legends figures that don't have giant helmets and armor would fit a little bit better. How about a Masters of the Universe Classics He-Man? Yeah, well, those are way bigger, and they're actually closer to 7 inches, so as you can see, he doesn't really fit inside too well. Oh, but you know who fits out really well? Spider-Blue. Spider-Blue's about 5 inches, but he sits in there perfect. Spider-Blue, Spider-Blue, he's so blue, blue, blue. So the overall design of this thing is pretty gorgeous. I mean, the thing is beautifully detailed all the way through, and it actually comes out of the box pretty much ready to go. There's not really a lot of assembly required. You basically just have to snap these little fins on the back, you snap the gun on there, you snap this little turret on the front, and it's just ready to be played with, ready for display, however you plan to keep this in your collection. It's very heavy as well, and it's built really well. The wheels on there are rubber, they have treads, so they're really well built, and this thing just feels nice and solid and sturdy. So I definitely love the overall presentation. Does a great job of resembling the vehicle straight from the movie. Has a lot of great details on there. There's some nice little painted details on the inside there where you can kind of see like the engine parts and everything. So it's a beautifully designed toy. But this is what we all want to know how it works, right? We all want to see it actually in action. We want to drive this around. So let me show you guys how this works. So first things first, it is battery powered, and it does come with a battery. It's got a 9.9 volt battery along with a nice little supercharger. This is great because you just basically plug the battery into the end of this, plug this into the wall. It doesn't take very long at all to fully charge that battery, which is awesome. So I think the battery works great. Then you can just unscrew the side, plug that battery in, you are ready to go. One of the other fun things that this comes with is this exhaust solution, which is actually just like the fake smoke stuff you would see for like smoke machines and stuff like that. Comes with a nice bottle of it. You actually can just refill it right here in the back. There's a little plug that you're just gonna pop right off the back, and you can fill this up with the liquid, and that's gonna be for the exhaust effect that I'm gonna show you in just a bit. So it's nice that it comes with a little bottle of it. This stuff is easily replaceable. Just find someone that's got that smoke solution. You should be good to go. So the overall vehicle itself is driven with your cell phone, with your smartphone. So that right there immediately kind of had me go, ugh, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So let me show you how that works. Instead of having an actual controller, we're gonna drive this thing with our smartphone, which means you have to download an app. It's just the Batmobile remote control app. If you just do a search for Batmobile app on your Google Play Store or your iPhone Apple Store. You'll find it. It's a free download, and you'll put that on your phone. And essentially what you'll have to do is then connect that app to the car, because the car emits a Wi-Fi signal. So you turn your Wi-Fi on your phone, follow the prompts, basically connect your phone to the Wi-Fi with a password, and boom, you link up so that you can drive the car. So we're gonna get that all set up here. And in order to do that, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna power on the Batmobile by flipping the switch on the bottom. And this part is really fun. Check this out. You get a beautiful startup noise, revving the engine, and then it just keeps making that engine noise. Now you'll notice, see the lights flashing on the front? That means it's not connected yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my app turned on, and we're gonna get the Batmobile all set up and ready to drive. Okay, I'm gonna try to get in here just to show you guys real quick. This is what your app looks like. Once you're connected and ready to go, you've got your steering right here. So you'll use your left thumb to go forwards and backwards, your right thumb to turn left and right. And then we've got some other fun features here as well. This is gonna be the stuff like triggering the smoke, turning the headlights on and off, lots of fun stuff like that. So you'll basically hold your fingers right here on the app, and you can kind of see it in the background there. I'm just driving it forwards and backwards, just by using my fingers on the app there. So while you're using the app, there's a lot of fun things you can do. So let me talk about some of those special features first. All of those buttons that I showed you on there do different things. For one, you could control the headlights. By clicking the button right there on the app, you can turn the headlights off and on right there in the front. Also, by pushing that smoke button, that activates the exhaust. And this is really cool. A little red light comes on in the back, and all of a sudden the cool little smoke just starts billowing out of the back of the Batmobile. It is really cool. And you can choose to leave this on while you're driving, or you can turn it off, whichever you choose to do. But it's a really, really fun effect. And then you've got the guns. So you can push the button to raise up the cannon on the front there. And then there are various firing buttons. So pushing those buttons will make firing noises of all of the guns. And you'll even see that the little Gatling guns on the front will spin while you're firing those. You've also got the ability to raise the Batmobile up in kind of like an attack mode. So you can use basically the little shocks there that go up and down. And there's a camera inside. So the camera is a fun feature you can turn on with the app there if you choose to see what's being seen from the driver's seat. I will say that the camera is inside the cockpit, which means if the lid is closed, you can't actually see anything. So unfortunately, if you want to see what you're driving around, you want to see first-person view on the app, you have to drive around with the cockpit door open. One of the fun things with this is with the little guns there, you'll see that it's got some neat little effects. So I can look at myself on the app here because the Batmobile's facing me. And when I push the gun buttons, it looks like it's firing at me. So it's kind of fun. It's a neat little effect, but I will say that the camera also seems to get very laggy. Sometimes it is quite a bit behind what's actually happening with the Batmobile. There were several times when that camera lagged and it was just way behind what was actually going on. So I don't know if it's just a problem with the Wi-Fi signal or what, but it's definitely something that happened a lot. So let's talk about driving. Is this thing hard to drive with the app? I'm gonna say yes, it really is. It's a little rough getting the hang of pushing your thumb just forwards and backwards to make it go forwards or back, and then left and right with your right thumb there. And not having something actually tangible in your hands does make it a little tough to get a feel for how to drive this thing. Another thing that's a little weird with it, it seemed to work better indoors. When I was driving it around inside, it worked fine. Of course, I had limited space and I was running into things a lot. So I wanted to take it outside and really light it up and see how fast I can go. Except the problem was that I lost Wi-Fi signal constantly. I would drive this thing up and down the street, all of a sudden it would start acting weird, not really responding, not doing what I wanted it to, and then my phone would say connection lost. And every single time that happened, I had to completely reboot my app and get it back open again to reconnect because it just wouldn't ever find signal again. This definitely got frustrating, and I found it really hard to drive this thing outside, especially since I wasn't getting that far away from it. Sometimes I would follow it down the street and I would still lose Wi-Fi connection. So I don't know if it's just really hard to kind of keep connected. I looked at the manual with this, and one of the things it said in the manual is that surrounding Wi-Fi signals might cause a problem with the steering of this Batmobile, and that you should steer clear of other Wi-Fi signals. But I don't see how that's possible because just when I go outside in my neighborhood, I pick up 6 or 7 different Wi-Fi signals from other houses. Wi-Fi is everywhere, so I don't really know how you can avoid that. And I don't know if that's actually the problem here, but I definitely had a lot of issues with the Wi-Fi disconnecting, and it made it kind of hard to drive around outside. So, that right there, my friends, is the Ultimate Batmobile from Mattel from the new Justice League movie. So this thing retails for $249.99, and I totally understand that. It's huge, it's hefty, it's remote control. This is definitely meant to be a high-end remote control car, and it's ages 14 and up, as it says on the box, so it's definitely not meant for younger kids. Is it worth that amount of money? I would definitely say it would be worth more so if it ran a little bit better. I think the lack of a real controller is what the problem is here. Using an app to drive this, I understand it's something fun and it's modern and they want to utilize an app so you can do all the fun stuff and see the video and all that cool stuff. But the problem is that it seemed to cause a lot of issues as far as it's hard to control, hard to steer, and the Wi-Fi signal seems to drop out quite a bit. It's really hard to kind of keep your signal connected. I think having an actual controller would have solved all of those problems, and then I wouldn't have any issues with this. This would run a lot better. Plus, my concern with an app also extends to the future. What happens in 10 years? Or even 5 years from now? Am I still going to be able to drive this thing? Is the app going to exist? Are apps in general going to still be around? You never know. So a real controller would have made this thing so much better, in my opinion. I think the overall design is fantastic. I think it looks great. It's an awesome display piece. You can still display it with your figures, but as an RC car, it definitely could be a little bit better, especially if it had a real controller with it. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you've experienced this for yourself. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my reviews. Until next time, my friends.